Thank you very much for that, Mr. God bless. You see, of course, we're going to go back to the question again of youth representation and all that, but it's really very vital. Now, you look at all the different continents of the world. Africa is singularly the youngest of all the continents in the world in terms of the population, in terms of the demography of the people that are living within the territory. But when you go to look at the leader, the people that are leading, is the place where you have the oldest people leading. For example, look at the president of Cameroon, for Biya, who have been there for us. I was 2 years old when that guy became the president of Cameroon, and at more than 40,
Yeah.
he is still the president. The state, of course,
Wow.
repeated itself in many other countries until the death of what is the name, the president of Ivory Coast. You see, this set of people who I sometimes look upon to see like they really lack, not only that they lack the quality, they also lack the vision. Because okay, you have been there for all this too long. What do you want? What do you want? You
Hmm.
see, so
Hmm.
I been this also maybe have been the reason why they didn't want to educate the people. And now I really look at this Ready to Lead Africa project as something that the youth have decided to take upon themselves to educate yourself, because you don't wait for anyone to come and do it for you now. So I really find it
That's
very
true.
interesting and enticing that young Africans like you are taking on the mantle of leadership, or the desire to take on the mantle of leadership, because nobody's going to do it anyway. And when you look at whether you are looking at Kwame Nkrumah and the rest who went out to study and they came back, these are young blood, and really need to be boiling. So, what I'm trying to get at here now is um, what really is the difference between this youth, these people with a vibrant blood like you, and the old guys that are running the system? I want to hear it from you. What is the difference in their set of mentality?
If you the difference is one about times and seasons. Um, the people who are running Africa at the moment came in from are part of a generation that were trying to survive. Um, the the idea of abundance and innovation and charting new courses was slim. Abundance was not a common word that they knew in their generation. Uh, Charting new courses was also something they were privy to try, i.e., the attempt to decolonize Africa, the interest for self-governance, the attempt to rid their state, uh, you know, rid their state of the control of the colonial master. So they tried a little bit of charting new courses, but it was still within the parameters of survival. And when I talked about the other thing about seasons, is that the season that they were in or that they belonged to was not as civilized as what we have. So when you connect the dots of survival and low ambition about charting new courses and the difference in season, it tells you the difference between the youths that we have today and the guys who have been running the African state. We are more civilized. The information that have been generated in the last 100 years is more than what has been generated since the beginning of the world. And when you check what has happened, young people have led these astronomical changes. Our generation is the generation that have seen driverless cars, that have seen phones that could do video calls. It is our generation that built Facebook. It's our generation that created our Twitter. We created TikTok. We created, the Teslas and what have you. It's Apple. We're the engine room of these innovations. So what has happened is that even though on the African continent we're not as advanced in technology, the difference between us and those guys who are leading us is that we have the blessing of technology that we can buy from other parts of the world to understand the need to advance. So we are intrinsically what's the word now? We're not comfortable with where we are. That's our generation. We want to do something better. We want to dominate certain parts of world economy. We want to go to the moon. We want to build underground railroads. We want to build our own cars. We want to redesign our educational system. We want to build stronger institutions. That is, we want equity and justice. We want society to work. We want politicians to be held accountable. That is the difference between us and those people that are running the system at the moment. Our energy is on towards good, for the larger good, to thrive, and not just to survive. We don't want to survive. We want to thrive. That's the difference. They are used to surviving, but we are not used to surviving. We want to thrive. And I hope this sort of explains it.
That's right. Absolutely, absolutely. It explains it. In fact, that is the border. That is where actually we should be going. A society where you have leaders that are not religious ruler, people who, because when you say leaders, they really should be in front of the people. The people should be following them. We are going somewhere. It means that you have a vision. It means that you have a clear idea of where you are leading the people to. Otherwise, you cannot be a leader.
That's true.
We don't just give you the matter of leadership because we are compensating you or because you are the most beautiful. Or that is not what it is. You can go and become a leader in somewhere. We are trusting the life of millions of people in your hands. So you must be the best.
Yeah.
If not, you should not be there. So what I'm
That's
trying to get also now is that are there some good leaders, youth leader in Africa that we can sort of hang on to and say, okay, these are good examples that should reflect us, that should be a kind of the one that we are looking up to as an example. Can you share some with me?
So when you ask that question, specific names, is that on the top of my head, I can tell you a few names in Nigeria and Ghana. There's a young man who is in his 30s. His name is Kojo Jones. He's a Ghanaian who I believe we should be proud of because of the work he's doing in the real estate business and charity and also politics. Kojo Jones is someone that I think we should be saying, well, these are the young people that can be respected. And then when you come down to Nigeria, you have, of course, people like myself, people like Samson Itodo. You have people like, you have other people in other diverse fields. So you go to Liberia, there's a young man who is I think the vice chairman of the Liberian Anti-Corruption Agency. I've forgotten his name now, but those are also good people that we can look out for. And then when you come to South Africa and you see the young man, I've forgotten his name again, but maybe with time I'll get to remember, the guy who is leading the Africa Free Continental Trade area, the secretariat in Ghana, the young man from South Africa who was appointed to lead that. So those are also young people on the continent. We have Marlene Rousseau from South Africa, who is leading Woman Lead movement in South Africa. And then, I mean, when you come back again to Nigeria, you see young people doing stuff in policy, like a young man called the David Kinde Samuel, who is also in Nigeria and working in policy, advocacy, and development. So we're scattered across the entire length and breadth of Africa. So I just think that we have the numbers, the people are there, and I believe that as we continue to work and develop capacity, we would absolutely have more people coming up and we can identify later. But I mean, the list I just ran through is by no means exhaustive. It is just the ones I have on the top of my head. We have people in Gambia, what's his name? The young man in Gambia. I'm trying to remember his name. He's one of the leaders in their political space. And then even in Liberia, the guy who's heading NEMOT, forgive me my remembrance,
You know,
my ability to remember names this evening is
it's a,
quite low. But I mean, these are young people that I've worked with across the continent, and I know that we have a bright future if we can, increase the number from time to time.